All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome to Risk It for the Biscuit. We've got a special episode today. We kind of a little bit of a left turn here.
Yep.
Maybe a little more serious than what we normally. Definitely more serious than what
we usually do.
But it's something that's really, I think, important to us. We talk about this a lot of like, we're not as we pursue this career, we don't want to get career above our relationships with our spouses, our families. I think we want to always maintain healthy family relationships. And if that means having a less successful career, then so be it. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then Adam also just has kind of this incident that happened that was just kind of, I don't know, meaningful to you. Or it was kind of eye-opening, maybe to you, and just kind of how he processed through that. And so,
this is a real. I mean, you want to hear about our lives right now?
Yeah, vulnerability.
You're about
vulnerable.
Yeah,
talking about where we're at right now. So, this isn't one that we're like, I hope you enjoy it. This is maybe more one that's like, I hope this helps you.
It's also not one that you maybe want to listen to your kids for the first time without checking it out first.
Yeah.
That's probably a smart thing.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. And this will be part one.
Yeah, we're going to split it up two parts.
Yeah. So this is part one. So have a listen.
You asked me something earlier today about if I'm ever at a show and I'm just like, this is not going well. You asked me something like that. Anyway, I did a show in Oklahoma City recently.
Yeah.
And when I it was in a bar, which is,
Do you like performing in bars, or is it kind of?
I kind of take the short answer is no, but I kind of take the same, do you remember when we met Dusty Slay?
Yeah.
You and I. So Dusty Slay is a clean comedian. And
super nice guy.
He talked about how he used to come and perform in this real dive bar here in Tulsa, and how he liked it.
That's right.
Because he felt like if he could get this like blue collar guy who's been working all day to laugh, he knew he had a good joke.
Yeah.
So I look at it like that.
Yeah.
And I just look at it as stage time.
Yeah.
And also you'd be surprised at how like a lame show like that. And the crowd was fine. But just a weird show like that can open up a door for another show. And, somebody will see another comic like, hey, you want to come do this other show at a club? So, I'll take the stage time. There's very little stage time I won't accept.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So anyway, I get there and this other comic comes up to me, a young kid. He's in his 20s and he was like, hey, I'm from Tulsa too. I know you. I've seen you around the shows. And I've just been doing this for a year. And we just had a good conversation. And so I was like, oh yeah, cool. So anyway, so I go up and I just bomb so hard. I mean, I've not done worse.
Silence, like people chuckles.
Oh, actually it would be the opposite. Loudness. They're just talking over me the whole time.
So they're not even listening.
They're not. And it's not like they were doing that to every comic.
Oh,
they were doing it
interesting.
to me. I was...
How quickly towards the beginning did you realize that they were?
About 7 seconds in.
Really?
Oh, dude.
They just started talking.
How
long was the set? 5
I was supposed to do 20 minutes.
Oh, really?
And I think I shut it down at about 15.
Really?
I was just like, I was just looking at the promoter and I was like, she wants me off stage too. She wasn't a jerk about it.
Yeah.
But I could just tell she's fine if I just cut it out.
Yeah.
So, cause most of the time you need to do your time.
Yeah.
Be a professional.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not for them.
Right.
And they're drinking. And so they just want to talk to their friend. They would rather there be a comic that they really like or just talk to their friend.
Yeah.
I was not a comic that they liked at all. Yeah. So anyway, I bomb hard and I just go sit down. I'm just like, yeah, that's, whatever. It is what it is. And this young kid who gets up there, he just murders.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like, he's a filthy comic.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
what he's talking about is what they want to hear about. And I saw him afterwards, like them invite him to sit with them for drinks. And like no one is wanting to talk to me.
No one's making eye contact with you. Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and it's also just a bad deal. It's like if you don't live in Oklahoma, then you don't know you can smoke in bars here. And so which is not normal for the whole country. And like, so I just reek of cigarette smoke and like, it's a couple hours away or whatever. And I got paid like gas money to do it.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, it's a learning experience.
Learning experience.
Yeah. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. That was really uplifting story. And onward and upward.
So we got speaking of
bombing.
Speaking of wait, what?
Are you going to talk to me about?
Speaking of more of a so we started this podcast. We're about 22 or so episodes in.
Oh.
Yeah. And if you have been listening or watching, thanks.
Thank you.
It's been great. Our little podcast that could. It's been growing and people are listening and we're appreciative. I don't exactly know what this means, but I look and see who's listening to our podcast. Obviously, a lot of people in Oklahoma, but we got some people in Australia that listen to it. I have an idea on who it is, but people who, liked us before or whatever.
That's
and
great.
A couple of different countries and around the U.S. Texas.
Do you think it's Nicole Kidman?
Might be Nicole Kidman.
I think
probably.
Doesn't she live in
wouldn't
Nashville,
be surprised.
Might be Hugh Jackman.
I bet it's Hugh Jackman.
What's the Thor? Chris Hemsworth.
Oh yeah,
I think him and his wife listened to it together.
Yeah,
they do. Yeah, they do.
We'll see if she listens to this episode. I bet it is my friend Catherine McDowell.
Oh,
who is a friend of ours, friend of the fam who lives in Australia. And if it is, Catherine, make sure you reach out and let me know.
Catherine, hit us up.
Anyway, we started this
podcast. If you see Chris Hemsworth, will you tell him about the podcast?
Yeah, tell him about it.
Yes. I mean,
there is I think there's a professional surfer or a former professional surfer that follows me recently.
And you also had that other comedian from Australia, Josh.
Oh yeah, hi Josh.
Yeah,
what the heck? It could be hi Josh.
Yeah, he's from Australia, right?
Yeah, he's Australian.
Okay, so hi Josh, if you're listening.
Hi Josh, what's up, man?
Yeah.
Hi to you and Catherine.
Yeah,
they're so nice, super cool. We had a great time chatting.
Wait, his wife's name is Catherine?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So all that to say,
now you got me second guessing it. Now I'm nervous.
Well, you said that. I said my friend's name was Catherine.
Oh, that's right.
And then you. So I was just like, it doesn't feel.
Let me see that I did a Steven Stevens cameo for her, and it was really fun. He gave me some amazing. He gave me some amazing things to say.
But really just funny. Keep it to yourself.
I'm going to keep it to myself. We don't want to hear it. Something about. Can we edit all this out? I'm sorry.
No, it's impossible.
Adam, this mic smells like your house.
No, it came from there.
Is that good or bad?
It's just your what do you call that? Your musk?
Oh, well, that's Diana's mic.
So you or Di's musk?
Yeah.
You don't have musk?
Oh, I'm sure I do, but that is Di's mic specifically. I'm leaving this in, this part where Chris looks at his phone. I'm leaving this in so that everyone will stay and listen to the podcast. This is the content they want. This is why they're here.
To watch me look at my phone. It makes them not feel alone. Okay. I can't. Where would I find that? Did we email back? I don't know.
It might be faster if you just tried to call him.
I might just call him up. He might be sleeping right now. But.
If you're watching or listening to this, Chris is trying to find the name of a person's wife on his phone.
Because I just said her name,
so that
now
I just say it.
I want to make sure I didn't say the wrong name.
Maybe Rebecca. Rebecca, maybe
Almost
Clarice,
it's Catherine, but
maybe
now you literally
Susan,
just said Catherine.
maybe Catherine, maybe it's Jennifer.
Chris, where are you looking for?
I'm looking
I
in
bet I can find this
maybe you
before
don't
In
know
my
her.
messages. Okay, let me see here. I bet. All right, I'm gonna find it. I'm on.
Now that you've
I'm
said
hot
it.
on.
It's Catherine.
No, you don't.
I'm not even kidding you.
No, you.
Star comedian Josh Hawkins of Hi Josh.
Oh my
My
God.
wife Catherine is from
How in the Gary doesn't even
Adelaide.
know this person, and he figured it out
Okay,
faster.
I just
If
found our
I
conversation.
need everyone to know what just happened.
I just found our conversation.
I mentioned that somebody listens to us in Australia. Chris and I agreed it might be someone
my
that he met
friend.
online, a comedian named Josh. Hi, Josh.
Yes.
That's Hi, Josh. And he mentioned Josh's wife, Catherine, but then second guessed her name.
Right.
Then he spent an hour on his phone trying to figure out if he
Trying to
said the right
confirm it.
name. And Gary figured it out in about 5 seconds.
Yeah, it was
How
it was
you
about
are
5
making
seconds.
a living off of TikTok, I have no idea.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, maybe I'm just gifted.
Did you just Google that? How did you
I
find
Googled.
Saying Google. You're saying Google like,
I just thought, Chris, where are you looking for this at? I went and looked up
how is Google not the first place you
Hi
went?
Josh
I had
wife's
a
name.
I had a
And-
conversation with Hi Josh, and where we talked, and so I was like, oh, I know he said her name in there.
You said Google like it's not a very well-known tool.
I guess I just didn't. If people looked up my name and
Yes.
to find Lisa's name, I don't know that it just didn't click that would be a
Well, I would scroll through your TikTok feed and wonder, maybe he mentions it in this post. Maybe it's this.
that was my first thought.
Yes.
And then I was like, I don't think that's going to work. I was like, oh, wait a second. We had a conversation. I'll go find the conversation.
Oh, and I can't find the
That took a while to find the
Chris, that
conversation.
was as efficient as the auditioning process.
Yeah.
I'm all about
doing.
efficiency.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
There's a very good chance all of that's making
What's
it to the
important, though, is I was right.
Oh.
Her name is Catherine.
I don't know if I think that's what is important here. All right.
This all could have been avoided.
Yeah.
That's just funny that you knew a Catherine, and then that's what made me second guess it, because like, no, her name's Catherine. And
Yeah.
Well, actually, a large population of the Australian continent is Catherine.
are you Googling that as well right now?
It's like 10 to 15% of the women.
You
there are-
Googled that?
yeah.
Oh, whatever. All right.
Okay, sorry to veer off course there. You know what it is? I'm really bad remembering names.
Oh, I know.
You know this about me.
Oh,
But I'm also very self-conscious about it. Like it's like my worst fear of like
that you would say.
that I'm like, I should know this person's name, and they
Yes.
would really, really hurt if they knew that I couldn't remember their name.
Yeah.
And so I'm just super like, so I was
Why do
pretty
you think it would-
confidently, I'm like, Catherine. And then it was like, oh crap, what if,
You think that
You just
it
said
would have
Catherine.
hurt?
well,
yeah, it would be.
I mean,
it might be hurt if you're like.
yeah, it's like, we had a great conversation. I really connect. I thought they were awesome. And I
Like,
don't
make
want to
them
just be
feel bad?
like
I mean,
saying the wrong name.
people.
I mean, we're not like super close. We had a conversation on
Yeah.
it was cool. So
Yeah.
I met Hunter Plake last week
yeah.
Shout
for
out.
the first time.
What's up, Hunter?
Hi, Hunter. And when we were saying goodbye, he was like, "See ya." He mentioned he kind of forgot my name, and then he guessed it. And he guessed. Hold on, I have to think about what he guessed. My name was.
Yeah.
Who were we? We were just talking. He might have guessed that it was Cameron.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How did that make you feel, Gary?
I was like way off. Why did you even try that, Hunter?
Yeah.
No, we were just talking about Cameron Johnson. And so but I didn't care because we'd just met.
I'm not saying they'd be like busted up about it. I just don't like to,
Yeah.
I just want to say people's names right.
No, that's fine. We have been talking about this honestly, for far too long.
We have way too long.
Yeah. This is the part of the podcast where I would look at the analytics and see that the majority of the listeners dropped off. Okay.
Then let's cut out that part.
No, we can't now because you said it.
I said it. Can't get around it now.
All right. Well, hey, listen. Hey, thanks for coming to the podcast.
Thanks for being here.
Adam, Chris, and Gary here. But Gary, people have said they appreciate that you have a mic now.
Yes.
20 episodes in, we finally got you a mic.
Finally made that happen.
There was no intention of somebody's calling me. Who is it? Don't know. Decline.
Wow.
Too busy.
He really does care about
When
us,
you say
everybody.
yes to one thing, you have to say no to something
Boy,
else.
that's good.
Somebody tweet it.
Thankfully, you're saying no to that call.
Yeah, whoever that spam call. Yeah, Gary's got a mic. We never intended for him to be on the podcast, but he
Weaseled his way in.
weaseled his way in.
Yep.
Yeah, glad to have you, Gary. We are a funny podcast following the exploits of a couple of guys who left their very long career, very cushy career at a church to dive into the world of performing and comedy.
Yeah.
And this is that podcast.
What I thought was funny is our episode we just recorded was about like acting in commercials and we did spend a large amount of time talking about auditioning and then about the commercials we didn't get. And I'm like, yeah, that's where we're at.
Oh, yeah.
We just talk about the opportunities that we almost got.
Well,
That's the level that we are.
Yeah. Listen, we're a couple of guys who live in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
That's right.
Who somehow have made it work so far.
So far, it's working somehow.
So far, it's working. That we are providing for our families.
Yeah.
And doing this, but there's a lot of things we don't get.
You know those Nationwide commercials where this guy, he's going to fix up a house and he goes to fix it up and everything, it just goes crazy. Almost got that ad. Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember those dry bar specials that you get to see?
Yeah.
Got one 2 years ago. Still hasn't come out.
Not showing it.
Not showing it.
Can't show it.
That one will come.
That'll show. That'll show.
That one will show. Yeah.
We just talk about all the stuff we almost got.
Yeah. Remember how cool of an idea it would be to get a commercial agent, Adam, in Hollywood?
You got one though.
I got one. Have I ever gotten a callback?
Well, but that's step 2. We're on step You got
1.
an agent though.
I do have an agent.
That's cool.
Shout out Adam.
Do you think I
That's
could
my
get an agent?
Ooh. Maybe for video work? Do they have?
Maybe should me and Adam talk at some point?
I have mentioned it so many times.
You really
to
think we
both of
should?
you?
Yeah, we should.
It's not. Yes. Yeah. So much of this is about how you look. Also, you're a much better actor than I am. Why I got this really makes no sense.
It's your.
Well, Chris has a better body, so his chances of landing something are.
This episode is going to be called "Gary Likes Chris's Body."
I didn't say I liked it. I just
No,
thought
he
it
just
was
noticed it, though.
yours.
Gary notices Chris's body.
Whatever.
Yeah,
This is getting uncomfortable,
it is.
guys.
So
This is
anyway,
good.
we're following that. That's what we're doing. So typically we talk about like something that's been going on recently, a win or a loss, or where we are in our career, that sort of thing. And today we're going to talk about a situation that occurred that is a bit more serious.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much laughing there's going to be in today's episode, but it is really important. And I've been talking to you guys about it for a while.
Yeah.
And we thought that we would talk about it. So
Do we need a disclaimer?
yeah.
I mean, honestly, it could. I mean,
actually, it probably would be good to have a disclaimer.
yeah.
Yeah. If you are for some reason listening to this with children, I would highly suggest that you listen to it on your own first.
Yeah.
Before you let them hear it. Because we're going to bring up some themes that if you haven't talked to your kid about it, it's not probably the way you want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you listen to, I do think that there's some really good topic, a pretty good topic that we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
So how's this going to go? We go, welcome to the podcast, and the music comes in. Yeah, but there we go. Welcome to the podcast.
With some ominous music.
Well, I think maybe kind of a way to contextualize it is just like, I think stand-up comedy, performing, these kinds of things, they're kind of in our culture today, they kind of destroy marriages in a lot. Like you don't think about performers or even actors or whoever as being, oh, let's talk to them about how to have a healthy marriage. And I don't mean to generalize performers, but I'm just saying like that's not typically, this industry doesn't typically lend itself to like super healthy marriages and families.
It is not surprising when you hear that a couple who is in the public eye or performs got a divorce.
Sure.
No one's shocked. More shocked when you find out, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So they've been married for that long?
So I know both of us entering into this kind of line of work tried to be extremely sober-minded in terms of like knowing what we're getting ourselves into. And none of us obviously want to succeed, in our career at the expense of losing our family or losing our spouse. That's just not on the table.
Which, is unique. Our situation is unique in that we both jumped in to this kind of work. I mean, we had done it for a long time, but like doing it like from more of a self-employed aspect, more in the public eye, much later. I mean, you have teenagers.
Right. Yeah.
You've been married for 20 years?
20 years. Yeah.
And I've been married this will be the 13th year.
Yeah.
And that's also unique.
Sure.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
So, but you're right. It doesn't, being a performer does not typically it does not promote family.
Yeah.
And I was telling you guys earlier that one of my favorite comedians, Dustin Nickerson, became a comedian a little later in life, is in his late 30s now and has a wife and 3 or 4 children, one at least who's in high school. And so he talks a lot about just like what it looks like for dad to be on the road and to, have family. So I can really relate to him because I'm on the road a lot. And the kind of the big difference between you and I is like you do a lot more acting. You're home a lot more.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm out on the road quite a bit more between the television show and then comedy. So back in December of 2022, I booked so many gigs. We called it 17 shows in 17 days.
Yeah, right.
And I was doing a bunch of clubs, some churches. Some of the time, I was able to have a buddy with me, Gary went with me, and then some of the time I was just on my own. So one of the things I didn't realize was going to be I think I've talked about this, but stand-up comedy is very isolating. You, at least in my level, which is, beginner, just past beginner. I am regularly in my car or on a plane or at a club or at a comedy condo by myself.
Right.
And I try to take somebody with me as much as I can. Financially doesn't always make sense, but So anyway, so I was in Arkansas, and those are those shows where I was opening up for Kevin Nealon, which were great shows and really fun, but I only did 20 minutes every day. And so from the moment I woke up until I had to be at the club at like 5 or 6, I was just by myself. And so one of the days I just wanted to get out of the condo and just, go get some coffee and stuff. And so something that I do pretty regularly in Tulsa is, and it sounds weird, but it's not, is go to this place called China Foot Massage.
That's weird.
What'd you say, Gare?
That's weird.
You've been too. Don't pretend like you haven't. So anyway, it's in a strip mall. Over by an Italian restaurant. And it's like $45 to get a massage.
Are you still in a big room with everybody else?
Whenever you used to be in a big room, and you would go in and there were just like a ton of...
It's like a hair salon, but massages.
Right. There's a ton of these little...
Like booths kind of a thing?
They're kind of massage
chairs that...
Massage chairs, kind of. They're flat massage chairs. Yeah. And you would go one room, very dark, but one big room, and you'd only take off your shirt. If you're a female, you wouldn't
It's
specifically
optional
take off your
to take off your top. I mean, for a guy.
Is it optional?
Well, I don't think I ever took my shirt off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Gary's like, no thanks.
Yeah. Someone
I don't want to tempt them.
right. Someone showed it to me years ago, and then I was just like, it was kind of weird, but then I was like, they're pretty good. I mean, like, they are dang good.
It is pretty awesome.
They have those charts of like all the 1,000 touch points on your foot.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, you guys,
they know what they're doing.
they know what they're doing. Yeah.
And they usually smell like a cigarette.
But it's called, so what's the name of it again?
It's called China foot massage.
China foot massage. So
And
do
like-
they specialize in feet, or is
It's
it
funny that
I don't
the
think
foot was
so.
just
not
a
specifically. It's just-
marketing mistake?
That's just where they start.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
They
that.
start
yeah.
with your feet.
It's a regular massage.
Okay.
Or you can do like Anyway, so I've been going there for years.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was $35 for a long time, which is just like
That's a steal.
for an hour.
That's a steal.
Yeah. And they bumped it up to 45. Totally cool. It's not all one room anymore because of COVID. They kind of made like sort of makeshift booths.
Mm.
Yeah. So
But it's still pretty open and like,
it's like there's no door,
yeah.
that sort of thing. And you still like you keep your jeans on and it's great.
Well, most people do. You don't.
No, I do. No. And they've even, So anyway, I've gone for a long time, especially the older I get and like you get like back pain or whatever, whatever. Anyway, so one of the things about like driving everywhere, I mean, I've driven so much this year. It's like planes, hotel beds, it's just like my bed. So I'm in Arkansas and I'm like, I want to do a China foot massage. Like, I'll find a place. They're like all called China foot massage.
Yeah.
I don't know how that branding works, but so I get on Yelp and I find a place and it is very similar to the one that I go to.
Yeah.
It's in a strip mall.
Yeah.
It looks nice, I guess. It's not shady like what you've seen in a movie where it's like a red neon sign or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you're like, why are all the windows covered up? Like,
Yeah,
it doesn't
yeah.
look like that. So, and I look and there are reviews. This place is great. I go there after work. Things like that. I'm like, this is the same spot.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I go there and it's interesting how you can play back the red flags
Mm-hmm.
that you just kind of that I just kind of ran through
Mm-hmm.
immediately.
Mm.
And the first red flag that I ran through was that I go in and everything is the same as I've experienced before, except the lady is just like, and your pants, take off your pants, which I have gotten, I don't know, 50 massages, like real massages in my
that's
life.
normal.
Yeah, that's normal.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, Diana and I we got a couples massage now recently, not too long ago.
Like if you go to like a spa. Or
If you went to a
something like
spa,
that.
you would. I mean, they typically a regular spa would say dress down to your level of comfort, and they're always very professional about. Yeah, from the beginning, this just felt
a little
different.
weird.
Yeah, and so I was just like, okay, well, so the lady says, "Where are you from?" or whatever, and I'm just like, "Oh yeah, we're just talking normal before I'm getting undressed." And I'm just like, "Yeah," and she's like, "Married, kids?" And I'm like, "Yeah, married, got a kid, got another kid on the way. I'm in town for work or whatever." And the massage starts, and it just feels different. Not like the actual pressure or whatever, but just like it's a little uncomfortable. Like there's just something about it that is bothering me, and I just keep telling myself in my head, like, she knows
Like
what
you're just overreacting.
I'm overreacting.
You don't want to believe the words to
Right.
read. Yeah, sure.
And that's just kind of part of my personality. I am pretty optimistic.
Sure. Yeah.
And so, anyway, we're about 50 minutes into it. So it's almost over. And something just feels off. And the way these typically work, or really any massages, you'd start on your stomach 30 minutes and then you go to your back. And I don't know, like right at that point, I had my eyes open, or maybe I was just more aware of what was happening. But I see the lady, I look at her and she propositions me.
Mm.
And it is very clear what she is offering. And I want to make sure that I say this in a way that isn't just incredibly, I don't know, gross or something like that. But yeah, she's offering me a service that I'm not interested in, whatever. And so I just say, no, thank you. And then she just kind of laughs and just says, okay.
Mm.
And then thankfully we're at the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like, there's a couple of more like, like those on my leg or back or whatever, or front. And then I'm just like, the moment there's like a break in the space.
Yeah.
I'm just like, all right, thanks. Hey, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And she walks out and I get dressed as fast as I can.
Yeah.
And I walk out and I'm just kind of thinking about I'm just like, just kind of like you're in a moment like that, and you're just like, I don't know. I'm just uncomfortable. I'm just like, my skin is kind of hot.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? I'm just like, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm by myself. I'm hours away from my family. I'm starting to feel bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just kind of feel dirty, you know? And so I've already paid, which was odd that you would pay at the beginning because you always pay at the end. I already paid. And she asked me for a tip, which I don't know if I told you guys that. Like,
I don't remember. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. I just want to get out of it.
Yeah, sure.
And so I just give her my card, give her a tip, get the card back, and I just get in the car. And I just hate everything that is I'm feeling in the moment. And I call the cops. And I just say, hey, this is weird, but I'm from out of town and I went to this place and this is what was offered to me. And the detective starts asking me questions about like how the services were offered. And I start explaining it to him and start questioning myself, like, did I really? Oh, maybe because she didn't say anything. She just pointed. And I was like thinking like, oh, maybe I was like, no, it was very clear. I know what just happened. And he wasn't like, you're making this up. He was just asking me very.
He's like, no, Carol would never do that.
Yeah.
Right. He's not like that. No, he's just doing his due diligence.
Yeah.
So I got off the phone with him and I am thinking to myself, okay, that's over. I'm never speaking to anyone about this. And then immediately I'm like, I'm calling Diana.
Yeah.
And so I call her and I'm just like, you're not going to believe what happened, but this is what happened. And her first question, and this, hopefully this doesn't put her in a bad light, but she goes, did you do something to make it seem like that you wanted that from her? Yeah. And I was like, no, why is that your first question? And she was like, I was just curious if like there was a miscommunication there.
Yeah.
And I said, absolutely not. Like, and I did start to think like, I don't know, my mind is racing 1,000 miles an hour. So the detective calls me back and asks me like very specific questions about my encounter. And so there's a part of me that feels bad for like outing these people, but then there's another part of me that's just like for justice, and another part of me that feels terrible, and another part of me that's angry. It's just like, I don't know that I've ever been in a situation where I felt more emotions at the same time. And so he says, all right. And then the detective says something that I think about a lot. He said, I'm really sorry this happened to you. And I said, oh yeah. Yeah. Thanks for saying that. I appreciate it. And yeah. Well, I just wanted to let you know, I don't want this to happen to another person. So I get off the phone and I'm just driving by myself, and I really am just feeling terrible. And I don't really have anywhere to go. I'm hours before I have to be at the club, and I'm just like, whatever. So I call you, and I'm just like, which, this is real life, but whatever. But I tell you the story up to the proposition. And then there was kind of a break or a pause in what I was saying. And then I was just like, oh, by the way, I didn't accept the proposition. And you just go, okay, yeah, great.
Yeah.
Because this could have gone either way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No.
And I was just like, oh yeah, sorry. I should have just started.
Should have led with that.
I should have led with like, hey, I didn't accept. This just happened. Because, we've had friends that,
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm old enough to not be surprised by anything, and we're all human, and who knows? I mean, we're all capable of all kinds of horrible things.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. All of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I kept thinking about it, and, I wanted to tell someone. I didn't have anybody else to, like, I wasn't with anyone.
Right. Yeah.
I was opening for Kevin Nealon. I wasn't going to tell him.
I talked to Kevin.
What good is that?
Talk it through with Kev.
Yeah. Hey, man.
Yeah. Kevin,
How
you
was
want
it
to go on a
working with
hike?
Chris Farley? By the way, this happened. What do you think? Yeah. But I was thinking about, like, just as the days continued, I would talk to Diana about it, and then Gary and I went to a church out of town the next day, and I was trying to process, like, why, outside of it being a crime, why it bothered me so much. And I talked to my friend Stephen Posey, who we all know. He's a pastor in California. And I just asked him, like, well, I should say this, but maybe I'll end with what Stephen said. I would say this. What I realized really bothered me was the individual's lack of care for the sanctity of marriage. Because they asked me if I was married and knew that not only do I have a kid, like, I have a kid on the way.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
yeah.
I'm in this, like, holy marriage, and no regard. Yeah. And I realized there was a part of me that realized I did put myself in a bad situation.
Sure.
And, I've since made a rule that, like, I thought I did my due diligence. It wasn't enough. And so I'm out of town. That's not what we're going to do. We're not going to do that anymore. Yeah. Even if it looks fine, I'm just going to stay away from that. So not walk into those situations. But, so I did feel bad about that, and kind of understood, like, maybe what some people feel when they are violated. Maybe they feel some remorse for what part they played. Like, I did understand that.
Yeah. Or you start to blame yourself, or
I'm the one who came here.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
But I realized, like, how angry I was at another person for not caring. Just blatant disregard. Right. For potentially destroying a marriage.
Yeah. It's horrible.
Yeah. So I talked to my friend Stephen, who's a preacher, a pastor, and he gave me really good insight. He just said, I don't think I talked to him the day of. I talked to him a little later. But I told him, I said, why is this bothering me so much? And he just said, it's a little trauma, like a little T trauma of something that's happened to you. Yeah. Yeah. And at least in my situation, I agree with him. Like, it's not a capital T trauma. Yeah. That a lot of people experience. But for me, it was a little T trauma. Yeah. That has taken some time to get over. There have been individuals that I've sat next to on a plane that have kind of the same, characteristics as that woman who was there, that I have found myself getting agitated with. Interesting. It's not their fault. They didn't do anything to me. And then Diane and I were on vacation last week, and she was like, I want to get a massage. The place that we were going to get a massage is a legit place that we've gotten a couples massage at before. And I was and it was a man. Yeah. And I was just tense, and my wife's right there, and it's and I'm tense the whole time.